Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Transport Fever on the North Atlantic map. You join me in Europe as the cars kind of give it... I mean, look at this, we've got two Beetles and three 2CVs kicking around there. There's no other way to say Europe in the 1960s as that particular image. Anyway, I've just finished upgrading the passenger route here. To be using Flying Scotsman throughout, so that has upped the price per kilometre that we were making from this route beforehand, and we're also hauling more passengers. I'm trying another one of these somewhat snazzy rolling camera moves. Yeah, it didn't really come off. I need to practice that. Anyway, it's making good money. If I call up the Routatron here, there we go. European mainline bucks. Yes, indeed. The North American Intercity is a little down at the moment, but that's because the new setup that we looked at last time when we introduced curved stations is currently hitting Atlanta, and Atlanta, well, it's not delivering on passengers because I've got no internal commuters currently set up there. The rest of the line, fantastic, but we burn all of that profitability the second we get rounded to Atlanta because we're not doing anything to help ourselves. Anyway, what I'd like to get to today would be to set up this monster of a goods route that we put in motion in the last episode. Or rather, we spent a hell of a lot of money getting the track set up. Whether we get to that or not is largely contingent on how much it costs to track in the first place. And if you want to find out how much that's going to cost, you're going to need to stick around. Here we go, giving you the reverse angle out the side of the bombastic introduction. And there should be one of the Zephyrs going past right now. Now, the Zephyr is the stopping service in between here and Charlotte or New York. It's one or the other. Atlanta, Charlotte. It's Charlotte. Hopefully we will build up enough demand in this area on a local basis that gathers speed and profit over the time. At the moment, it's costing me money, and if I had any sense, I'd close it down. But I want to keep it running because this series is as much about style as it is anything. In fact, every series is as much about style as it is anything else. So we're going to leave that running. But before we go anywhere else at all, I'm going to pause it now while I've got the best part of 3 million in the bank, and we're going to set up our commuter services here. Right, we'll keep it quite simple. So we've got, I mean, Atlanta has two stations. Or, I mean, you could suggest that this was possibly a shared station for Atlanta and Charlotte. And I want to make sure that we get as many passengers as possible. Tempted, interested, subscribed, bought in, however you wish to describe it, to this setup. Now, everything likes to drive on the right. Always have to remind myself because otherwise I'm going to get it wrong. Right, and then with this one, I think I'm going to do some kind of circuitous commuter route, which means I need a little bit of road plumbing in. Let's put that bit of road plumbed in, despite the fact I don't really know how or why I deleted it recently, but there you go. So yeah, from this one we'll go one, and then trundle along here, and then another one, and then probably stick one in there, or maybe here. Yeah, that would be the better route. Although I may be cutting my nose off to spite my face there by doing that, but we'll see. Around the corner on the right, stick one in there, and then what? And then one here. Yes. Your original bus stations, your bus stops in the wrong place there, Buster. You're going to need to move that. Okay, well, we'll make it work. And all of this, the intention behind it is to gradually move the weighting, or rather the development of Atlanta, so that it really does help with growing up near the station. Because once it does that, then we shouldn't have any difficulty at all, he said, in building up passengers to fuel the train routes that we're running. There you go, that looks good. There's the next one here. Here we go, and another one. And one more. In fact, this looks like it could do with a clockwise anti-clock. So what are we talking here? 5 stations. Okay, fair enough. Right, this is going to be ATL. No, A. Thank you. TL, yes. And then whatever it is doing, which is commuter alpha. Right, and then we'll do the same thing in reverse. Obviously, I'm going to need to put down bus stops on the other side of the station. Now, the other risk I've got with this is other side of the station, other side of the road. The other risk I've got with this is that by making the commuter service by bus good, I potentially cannibalize people that might otherwise choose to travel by train. It's a risk, but we're going to chance it. There we go. I mean, it does this covers a fair chunk of distance. There we are, and job done. 5. Good. Right. So ATL commuter. ATL. You don't need to write the whole of Atlanta commuter. Bravo. Okay. Right. We're not done because obviously we've got another station to deal with here. Now the other station is all the way out here, so there will be some overlap, and that's the bit that's going to be dangerous. Although, look at that. That's pretty. Oh, wait, steady on with your camera. Now, we've got this tram station that is effectively part of Charlotte. But we could run, we could do something here. And I think if we magic wand up, if we do the spannering of tramway addition, then maybe we get something useful out of this. I don't know. At the moment, I'm just going to tram as much of this as possible because that, it gives me some choices. I'm also going to tram all the way up. In fact, I think I'm going to have to. Well, no, I don't have to do anything. You have free will, dear boy. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. Give me tram track like that. We'll run it over to there. But given that the AI in all its wisdom has decided to expand in that direction, I'm going to say northward, despite the fact it's probably nowhere near north. I think we'll embrace it and see where it gets us. Let's do that as well. Now, the one thing I'm not doing at the moment is visiting the other side of the bridge, but there's nothing there right now. Historically, of course, I would always hit the far side of the bridge to try and encourage it, but I've never once known it to the AI to be encouraged by that in the slightest. Right, let's now. Do we want to? I don't think we need proper stations for this, so we'll go with 2. So we'll tram up here. Where do you want to go to? Let's go as far as here. Now, nobody lives here, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, swing it back round onto here, 3, because this is ripe for development. And actually, this route is the one that really does run the risk of cannibalizing train services. Perhaps less so as we get up to that section up there. But we're gonna, there has to be an element of chance in order to keep it interesting. Right, we need another 2 routes, please. All right, number 1 and 2. We're going anti-clockwise first, are we? Fair enough. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right. Well, it is what it is. I tell you what it isn't. It's not going to be profitable. Not immediately. So this is ATL commuter Charlie. I mean, maybe giving it a name involving trams in some fashion would be advisable, but I'm pretty sure I'll remember the setup I've gone for. I mean, I may yet be fortunate on that side. There. Is that it? 6? Yep, good. Right. ITO commuter Delta. Right. Now let's sling a couple of trams up here. We'll go 2 in each direction to start with. You know, what do we want? Toronto 31 or Pittsburgh? Well, we'll go with the latest and the greatest. Now, historically, the Ravens have always played in. It's not the Ravens, that's the Falcons, you fool. We're going to put them in black in honour of the Falcons making the Super Bowl. Why the hell not? Right, so you're going to go on Charlie. ATR commuter Charlie. Let's buy another 2, and you can go on Delta. Right. So that's Delta and Charlie done. And then, have we got a vehicle station depot type thing anywhere? Even remote, there's one over there. It's going to take him about 6 months to make the drive, though. So I think we'll blow some money that perhaps we don't necessarily need to, and we'll stick a depot in. There we go. All right. And with this one, we'll go 3, given the, I don't know, I don't really have a good reason. No, let's go 2. 2 will be enough. And we'll go with black with these as well. 1, 2, because we can always add more later, Alpha and Bravo. Now, obviously, as is always the case, those are going to take a little bit of time to bed in. Actually, those vehicles were not cheap. I mean, I spent, well, at least 800,000 in getting them set up. But hey, who knows? I mean, you know, if we get commuters moving onto those, it should help propel that line forward. And given the increased traffic of passengers that we get out of that, it should generate some additional growth. The big thing that I could do that would, well, actually, there's 2 big things I could do. 3 big things. Among the big things I could do that would make a big difference would be to run up to Kansas City. That would help. Run down to Miami. That would also help. And the other one is start feeding it either some goods or the other thing. Goods. Yeah, either commercial or industrial goods. And that's what I'm going to try and do, despite the fact it's going to be monstrously... the likelihood of me making this is flipping slim. And let's just price it up. It's a terrible idea. This is a terrible idea. Because I want to run the big boy down here. Because doing so will be utterly splendid. Right. 1.5 million to get that far. It's actually, that's pretty cheap. I've got no complaint about that. And you know, I am running a profitable enterprise at the moment. It's just a case of biding my time and trying to spend wisely in the short term. In the long term, cash shouldn't be a problem. But you don't want to sit around for, you know, 3/4 of an hour while I save up some cash. You want to see it happening. So, with that in mind, I'm gonna save it for the moment, and we're gonna do something cheaper first. But don't worry, we're still doing goods. Big boy can hang on. He's not going anywhere. It remains viable for quite some time. What we're going to do is we're going to set up, because we need to do this anyway, we're going to set up the fuel distribution system up here. Now, right now, we've been using trucks to get this happening, and that line is making good cash. But it is capped. It's capped in terms of the amount of money it can make me, and that's not exactly ideal. So what we want is we want a good station. If we call up trains, and then we go to goods, and then a depot is a terminal is possibly the best option. Now I need a bit of road to clip onto here so we can check it out for connections. No, not dirt streets. Give me a medium country road about there. Maybe a little bit longer. Right. So if we look at this, what we want is we want a double catchment, and that double catchment is I'm pointing with my finger and it's not going to help you, is the docks here and the, whatever this is, oil well. That's what we need to hit. Now, are we hitting? It's close, certainly, but flipping trees aren't helping. No. See? Not close enough. That might be it, though. Now, if I rock round here, hold on. If I put it here, we've actually solved the problem. So, so why are we still having this discussion? It's sorted already. We've already done it. It's there, right there. I don't know if you can make it out watching this back, but you know, it's the road on the dock lighting up is the bit that that you're interested in. But by connecting onto that, we have enough. In fact, you know, we're going to want. Will a 320? A 320 will do it. In fact, a 240 may do it from here. Now, I don't want to do, you know, tiddly little short setup. In fact, I only need one platform as well, but I'll put two on just in case. Let's go high speed. Let's go with. Do I want to electrify? No, we're always going to have diesels available. I'm not going to electrify. Right, it's right there. It's 600 grand. It's right there. Spend it, don't spend it. It's up to you. Since when was that ever a conversation? Right, I'm going to pay down the loan, given it just purely because we're coming up on the end of the year. What have we actually spent this year? We spent $1 million and change on new vehicles. Another pushing $1 million on construction, and we came up $3.5 million up. Nowhere near good enough, and an awful lot of Europe just happened. Europe kind of scowling at me, going, "Come on, stop mucking about with this North American stuff and go and, you know, do the bits that matter." It all matters. It all matters. We need one side working in order for the other side to work. So from here, we now need to rock this around so that it's in range of the oil refinery, and from the oil refinery we then spread our wings, head south, and make a bunch of money in the process. So I'm going to want a station around here somewhere, both to receive oil, chuck it back towards the docks, and then push it onward. So this is going to be a beast of a station. And what I'm waiting for right now is the right time to overhaul all of this, because I have to do it all at once. Where are we? Well, now's not the time. When I've got a couple of million, I'm going to go for super speed ever so briefly, because we're going to shut down everything else that we've got going on at the moment in this fuel setup. The ships will still run, obviously, because, you know, ships make good money. And we'll be running more shipping in and out of here as well, and possibly duplicating up on those routes, but not just yet. There we go. 2 million in the bank and available loans to the tune of 30 million. Ooh. Now that's the other thing. See, 3.5 million we made last year, and we paid 1.1 out in interest. Not clever. Right. PRN fuel shuttle. I'm just going to keep a note of these chaps as we wend our way here. What are you? Same one. What are you? Crude. Thank you. So there are, in fact, oh, I want that, not him. There you go. And then out of here, we've got one that heads down to Port Nelson. Right there. PRN fuel. So those are the three routes that run along the road, interacting with this setup that we've got going on. If we have a look at the number of vehicles we're talking about, it's not insignificant. Let's turn all of the replacement off, because I'm going to sell them all in a matter of minutes. But and that was on 25%. Helpful. I don't think I'd spent too much on it, but you know, every time you forget to turn it off from 25%, you end up burning cash you didn't need to. So we're talking about, what are we doing? 6 and another, you know, what should we say? That's 9 maybe, so 15, 19 trucks that we're running every year, and frankly, if we flog them, we're better off. So let's do that first. road PRN crude oil, this one. Send all vehicles to the depot and sell them when they get there. PRN fuel, same deal. And then PRN fuel shuttle, same thing again. Yep, we haven't sent the wrong ones away. Good, right, excellent. Right, and then off the back of that, we can get rid of this and that. Yeah, we will. I mean, we'll lose a little bit of stored goodness as part of that, but we should make it back fairly quickly. Now, the next objective will be to plonk this expertly lay in this this new goods station, so that we can really maximise the cash that it makes, or maximise the efficiency, minimise the cost of setting it up in the first place. Now, if we look at Chicago, which is going to be one of our stops along the way, right about here, because we want to go via Chicago so that we can end up hitting Atlanta, right? So if you imagine the line that comes up like this, then we do want to go this side of Port Nelson. Now, if we look at the topography of the map here, that's not going to tell us anything useful. Where, however, is Port Nelson's mediocre industrial area is right there. So the ideal place for the Port Nelson station is about there, maybe. Probably going to still want some trucks to distribute, although this lot will be in the catchment area, so that might still work. It's not. I'm incredibly doubtful that it will be profitable enough to actually justify using a train to chuck that stuff up there. I'll have a look before making an executive decision on such things, just to see what the annual demand is. Because if the demand is low, there ain't no point in me chucking cash at it. Instead, what I'll do is I'll run a couple of trucks up there, and that should do the trick. You know, like that route that I just closed. Yeah, exactly like the route that I just closed. There you go. We're on the same page here. But I'm not above building the same route 86 times in order to get it right. Okay, now let's talk stations here, people. Now, in the fullness of time, we're going to be running a lot of trains in and out of here. Now, I don't need every train to be in the station at once. That I don't need. But there is a need to have them, at least a couple in, because one's going to be, delivering crude and picking up fuel. The big boy that's heading down south, or the big boys even that are heading down south, will make, I estimate, maybe 1-2 trips per year. So they will be sizable beasties, but they won't be visiting that often. Right, let's just surround this refinery here with some road. A bit like that. And that gives me a little more choice as to where to put the thing. Now, we're coming out of there. We can swan neck round to get in. I don't really want to, but it'll work. That's okay, because what I don't want to do is swan neck in and swan neck out. Where's the benefit to anybody in such things? Nowhere. That's where the benefit is. Nowhere at all. Right. Okay. If we stick this about here, because the only thing we need to be in the catchment of is the refinery itself. So that's doable. I'm going to just try from there, pull out another road to about there. I don't think I'm going to be in range. Oh no, I am in range. Oh, that's a good thing. That'll probably do it. No, that'll do nicely. All right, let's make this super long. High speed. We're not going to need electrification on this. Are we done? Are we happy? Clap your hands. Okay. Yeah, so, as you can see, the end of this station is wretched. We're going to have to do, a pretty aggressive curve to get around there, which is obviously going to bleed a fair amount of speed off, and I am now regretting this entirely. Right, let's see what we get here. Now, a 45 mile an hour turn isn't so bad there. It's more about the fact that if we were to straighten that curve out, we'd be about here, right? But instead, we're wasting time as much as anything else going around the corner. The loss of speed is almost non-existent at this stage because the train will either be, accelerating or decelerating at this point anyway. So we're not losing too much in velocity in heading in this direction. What we lose is we're covering extra distance, and that's not ideal. Anyway, instead of just complaining about it, just build the thing and see where we get to. Right, if we rock that over there, now I think. See, I'd sooner lose more speed early on and then no speed after that. See, like that. And then we'll do the same with this one. I don't even need 2 tracks up here. Don't even need it. I'm doing it because it feels like a sensible piece of semi-future proofage. And anything else we want to do? You know what else? I'm gonna run this round here as well, and this one. And we'll mosey that over there. No, we won't. Hey, see, I want to be able to undo that. I mislaid it. It's that was just poor. It was an error in execution, not in idea. There you go, to there. That's it. That's good. And then this one over there, like that. Yep. Look at that. That's nice. Right. What are we missing? We could probably do with at least one route switch here, because I mean, as you've probably guessed, I'll probably depot up down there, but I want to be able to get onto any of the other lines that we're rocking at the same time. So if I'm lucky, I'll be able to put a diamond on this one, or an X crossing, or however you wish to describe it. But I don't think it's going to play ball. I think it's going to take its ball and go home. It's going to go, no way, sir. No. Right, well, what about this way then? Too much curvature. And yet, over here, now you see it's trying to cross out of the track. All right, well, I don't think we can do it before that switch. Go on. You go on for me. Look, I don't care. You can go at 5 miles per hour for all I care. I mean, the end result will be the same. The other thing, of course, we could do is we could do it over here. Right, okay, let's do it over there. All right, do a bit of that. Find the snap point, and it just works. Right, okay, that will allow any train coming up from this way to end up on any of those 4 stations. That will do. Maybe not... maybe an excessive use of track laying there, but it will get the job done. Right, now for my final flourish here, we shall pull off to a side depot that looks rather like this, and I want to get this as close to flush with the track as I can. For style, you understand, for no other reason than style. We'll put that in there. And just on the off chance no. This goods line is going to remain stoically, stubbornly non-electrified throughout its life. There we go. Okay, good. Right, so we now have the ability, oddly enough, that's my track built. I just need to buy a train now. We now have the ability to ferry this stuff back and forth. So we'll take crude oil up here, all the way up to the next station, all the way back down again with fuel. Brilliant. It will never need to switch track, but if it does, we have switches coming from every conceivable direction over there. Now, initially, this is going to be fairly uncomplicated in terms of setup because we're only going to run one train on it. But I need to make cash from it so that I can extend later. Right, let's now run this. You know what? It doesn't need to be large. My obsession with large country roads stops here. A medium will do. There we go. Nice and smooth. Let's run that out a bit further and then connect that up onto there. Where does that lead anyway? Doesn't really lead anywhere. You've got a couple more plants going on over there. Now, the other thing to bear in mind here is this food. Food here could be set up very, very easily. In which case, this 4-track station I've got here might not be big enough. But it is at least a flat area, so I can expand it more. And then we could potentially be resourcing 2 different goods types from one station. Whew. That's pretty exciting. I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but you know that's got me going. Obviously, that's a little way off yet. Now, in a minute, is it actually going to be in a minute, or are we going to do this now? No, we'll do it now. What I'm going to do from here on is I'm going to studiously ignore the latest vehicles available, and what I'm going to try and do instead. So I'm going to ignore the year that we're in. And as long as I'm keeping pace with road traffic, in the sense that my trains are faster than taking a car, we'll only upgrade when we kind of look into upgrading for everybody at the same time. Now, whether this ends up being a noble aspiration that simply doesn't pay off, or whether it ends up being the thing that I do, haven't decided yet. But I want to spend a little bit more time in the late age of steam, and I want to spend a little bit more time with the Dakota in service, and you get the idea. So I don't want to be replacing for, electric locomotives and 150 mile an hour plus services before I've really had enough time to play with all of this stuff, because that would be a waste. Right, you know what I'm going to do with you? What are you? You're relatively new. I'm going to assign you to PRN fuel, right? And your pal as well. You can go on PRN fuel. Now, I think I had 6 on there, and I see no reason to change that. Yes, those it's the cheap little Fords are the ones that we want to sell more than anything else. PRN fuel. What else we got down here? Just a couple of Fords in service. They have to go find themselves a way to a depot in order to get sold. And of course, I do need to buy a train. Now, there is that. PRN fuel. Come on, get there. Do it. Good. Right. Actually, let's pull this up so we at least got a list of how many vehicles I've got on there now. I've got 4. So another 2 will do the trick. And I'm looking at you 2 willing volunteers right now. So, I mean, we're still selling 13, 14 trucks in total, which is going to bring our costs down a touch. 1.22 per kilometre. Let's give these a funky colour to identify that. No, not that funky. No, goodness me. Hey, actually, you know what? That bright yellow as a truck colour, that looks pretty sporty. Let's go with that. Right. Let's move things along a bit. Let's sort of let the trucks shuffle themselves out. In fact, I'm not sure that they know where their route is. Yeah, you see, they're trying to go to... Right, so that was Port Nelson North, which no longer exists. Right, so instead we add that one. There we go, Lower Port Nelson. Yes, good. We know what? I'm going to make this yellow as well, so it matches the trucks. Okay, that should work out reasonably well. Now, I need to pause again pretty swiftly because that's all just going to grind to a halt if I don't actually deliver some oil. That's the thing we should all consider. New line from Port Nelson Central to Port Nelson North. I don't like Port Nelson North as a name. So PRN oil bulk. There we go. And then the next stop that this will do will be Chicago. I'm pretty sure I can serve the whole of Port Nelson. Let's have a look. It needs 38 oil a year. We can cover that probably with only 2 trucks. If I were to start, running passengers up here, which obviously is going to happen at some point, then that demand would spike much more readily. But you know, we've got a bit of a wait for that. Anyway, there's the oil bulk. So it will take oil up there. It will come back, hopefully, fingers massively crossed, with fuel to export. It is close enough to both, and with the wagon set to automatic, they will switch. Right, let's have a look. Think gold now. This is not worth using the big boy. The big boy's strength comes from the top speed that it can get up to. And we don't need it to get up to, you know, monstrous high speed. Yes, I am going to look at the Alco because I like it. It's just a classic shunter. You know, it'll do the job absolutely fine. What are you going to cost me a year? 182 and a million to buy in the first place. Yeah, how much is the Mikado? See, it's you know, the shunter has got these licked on every conceivable stat. Everything is better, you know, from price to running cost to tractive effort. It beats the pants off a lot of them. The big boy, however, is just you know, you're going to want to make it worthwhile and have at least 20-30 wagons associated with it. Otherwise, you're just not going to get anything out of it. So I'm going to go with this. Let's visit your friend and mine, the bank manager. 16 ought to do the trick, I reckon. Right, let's buy one of those. And then wagons, oil. What have we got here? 99. We don't need to do 99. I think I prefer these blue ones. Although, what have we got here? 12 per. 15 per. That's 15 weight. That's 15 weight. Yeah, better to take the more capacitous version. So 15 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with a capacity of 90 to start with, and we'll upgrade it as the need arises. So let's set that to PRN oil bulk. There we go. Right, which route are you taking here? A convoluted one. Okay, well, you know, be my guest. There are no other services using this line at the moment. You can use it the way you please. There we go. You know what else? I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it a natty colour. What do we got here? We got kind of a dark blue, fadey tanks on the back. So we'll stick with blue. No, not that. Yeah. That's better. Is it though? Oh, we've got kind of a Swedish flag motif, albeit slightly wrong Pantone, but okay, we can go with that. There we go. So it's going to do 2.3 thousand bucks per kilometre travelled. What sort of speed are you feeling like there, big boy? Are you no, not big boy. Just big boy is his name. That's the thing. Got up to 31, and I believe the speed limit of that car was 31 as well. But we're going to be pulling in 90 at a time, and I doubt very much that that's going to be enough for very long. Picking up oil immediately. That's what we like to see. Right, let's up the tempo. See what sort of speed we... And that's the other reason that it's not worth putting anything more expensive on here is, you know, we don't need to go any faster than this. It doesn't really get the chance to do so. In fact, as shunting lines go, this is a shunting line. There we go. Oil's piling up. Route's working immediately. It's always nice when a plan comes together. 53. And what's the output at the moment? 220-ish. So the output's going to increase, and then, you know, there is a chance that we struggle to keep pace with it once it does so. But that's fine, because you know, we can we can do that as the need arises. Just add an extra tank each time. How much are you going to pay me here? Is it a lot? 243,000 for a nice little back and forth route. Yeah, colour me interested. What do we got? 472. We've made one empty run, and plus this will be full in both directions, or it'll be pushing. It will at least be transporting in both directions, which should make for some ready cash. There you go. Another 200 grand. It's making money in both ways, and we're almost full up. So I'm going to need to keep an eye on this. Anyway, that will wrap it up for this time. If this pays off in turn, because right now all we're doing is I've just replaced a bunch of trucks with a single train. Next time around, we will look, profits depending, to run down to Chicago. The other thing I could do actually is I could run, instead of those trucks that I'm using, I could run a shunter as far as Port Nelson and drop off. That would work. We could make that happen. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. If you enjoyed this one, throw a like at it. If you've not yet subscribed, by all means consider doing so. It's a worthwhile endeavour that many people feel is somewhat worthwhile, not least of all myself. I'm setting you up here. I'm setting you up for a nice swoopy shot of that thing coming around the corner. Of course, it's going to take about 20 minutes for it to get here, but the shot will be worth it when it does. Anyway, subscribe if you've not yet done so, and if you are already subscribed, please hit the notification button to make sure you get notified when a new episode is coming up. I'll catch up with you very soon. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.